Hello. Welcome to a Christmas edition of Perfectly Imperfect podcast. Today, I was going to sit down and try to talk about one of those oldie goldie romance comedies, 16 Candles. If you haven't watched it, I would suggest you watch it. I was going to sit down and have a whole conversation around romance and comedies and old school romance and high school love and annoying guys, all different types of love acts and all that shit, and just the things that aged or did not age well from the movie. But I kind of considered, when I was doing the first recording, I kind of stumbled into something that has been bothering me for a while, and it's really... I started this podcast to talk about personal stuff, my personal stories. Maybe my personal stories will help people, with something or anything, whatever, right? People in my situation. But I found out that most of a male audience than I do have female audience. And I kind of took that for granted, but I do appreciate it because I do realize that most of my stories are very male gazy, that from a male perspective, and maybe because again all my friendships are uniquely male. Even my girlfriends are mostly like butch, so it's mostly just a male perspective. I do have a female perspective. Don't think I don't see it from my perspective, but again, we all know females are kind of complicated, and we have different ways to describe a situation, different ways to look at a situation. But since my audience is male, I might as well talk to you guys. Today we're going to talk about hard to get, and I use the term hard to get in huge quotes because I don't think that's a term that works nowadays. I'm not saying people don't practice this. A lot of people practice it. My mom still practiced that. My sisters and my friends do that. I have never practiced hard to get because I have never been hard to get. How do I explain this? I'm not going to pretend that I wasn't easy back in the day. I had my easy ace at days. I was kind of easy. And again, I was kind of naive back then, so big deal. So hard to get, what is playing hard to get, right? I don't know how to play hard to get. I don't even know how hard to get looks like, because if I like you, I have no way of hiding it or playing aloof or playing nonchalant. I just don't know how to do that. I'm a curious being. So once I'm curious about you, I practically dig my teeth in like a bone and I don't let go until my curiosity is satisfied. Okay? I think that's the reason why I say I was easy, because I used to get curious easily, and curiosity mostly to me was more like, if I am curious about you in regards of maybe you have an interesting perspective, or you look kind of interesting, or you have an interesting lifestyle, right? And couple that with sexual attraction, I would follow. If there was no sexual attraction, my brother, regardless what you do, no matter how handsome you are, no matter how cute or cuddly or fucking pocketed you are, I would not swing that way, unless you want to be friends, and you want to be friends with benefits, which is something you need to build up to. Now, my current situation, like I said, again, I don't know how to play hard to get. But my mom tried to explain to me, playing hard to get is you're always, you play like you're aloof or nonchalant, or he's not swaying you the way he's swaying you. But swear to explain that. Doris, if you hear meows in the background, that's just my cat. Her name's Trophy. You can say hi. Why am I talking about playing hard to get? Again, I don't know how to play hard to get. What I'm trying to explain is hard to get is not a term. Nowadays, it's not a thing. Most of us don't fucking care about if I am easy or hard to get. It's more like intentional, right? So there's this guy. I'm talking about this guy particularly because I know, one, he never listens to my podcast, so I can talk about him with ease and comfort, and I can be as honest as I can possibly be without doxing him or humiliating him or just creating a bad situation for him. So there's this guy. He's an electrician and I'm a somea. He has his own business. He's invested in creating, let's just put it this way. He's a great guy. Overall, in terms of as a person, he's a great guy. He's a good businessman. He is single and he is definitely searching for the wrong person, but he's definitely searching. And I think he's in that place where he's ready to commit and have kids and do all that and live a life. This guy has been working for my mom for 5 years or so, a little bit more, I think, and interacted a few times. He's taught me a few things about wiring, electric wiring, where problems may occur, how some things around here work. When you're building or renovating a house, there's some things that in terms of electricity, in terms of consumption, they know how to fix it, and blah blah blah. So this guy this electrician, alianza juicy, because I've known him for 5 years. I for the longest time thought he was older than me, but he turns out to be 6 years younger than me, which again is a huge factor in my decision making. But anyway, so this year I say this year because bado tuko 25th Jafika fast. So this year alianza kuni katia, nasema katia but more directly, which I appreciate. At least for the first time hakuwa nifanya like kuzunguka around, because when I think there's a point in time where we exchanged numbers, because again I had to handle a few things when my mom wasn't there, so he had to have my number so he can have contact. But he used to like call me or text me or invite me for like drinks and stuff, and I don't do that, especially if we're not in that kind of friendship. I don't do that. So, and I don't even try to like fan it off. I just ignore such messages, such invitationals. So this year he got more direct, and he told me about, because again, direct na kuzunguka bush, same things, like you know what I mean. So he's trying to tell me something, but he's not telling me directly, but he's trying to be direct also, because again, I read in between the lines. So by the time he was telling me what he wanted to tell me, I had already guessed what he was going to say, but I didn't want to take that power away from him. So I listened, and he's all there. He's talking about how he's in this place where he wants to have a family. Like he told me his past, right? He had a girl that he was all ready to get married to after, I think, uni or something. Was it high school? And then he started working and he started going to technical school. And the girl realized that, oh, this guy's never gonna marry me. So he was like, instead of me wasting your time, I think we need to break up. Because they were in love. They were like together for like 6 years, which was cool, which is interesting. And now that he's been like alive for a while, he's been working for a while, like he's made his money, he's made his savings, blah blah blah, and he's looking for a wife, and he was thinking I would be a great fit. And as I was listening to him speak, my entire head, like, I knew where it was going, but I wasn't expecting him to say it that way. And again, I appreciate that he was direct. And my first reaction, like everyone, my first reaction was like, why? You don't even know me, like, why? And then two, I was like, the audacity. Of course, is that feeling of like the audacity of you thinking you're doing me a favor by asking that. I think, we're at that point, both of us, where like we both need to be in a relationship, and I choose you, so I need you to choose me back, because I think we're on the same space. I felt a slight drop of anger, that's true, because I'm like, how dare you think you have the audacity to choose for me, who I want to be married to? But again, I was also in that aspect, oh, poor you men, like, I get you, I understand you, I really appreciate the honesty. But why me, bro? You're you're climbing the wrong tree. One, like, there is nothing between you and me. Like, even talking about like going somewhere and having lunch and discuss, we're not going to discuss anything personal. Like, we have had personal conversation, not saying that we haven't. But I think it's also the age factor thing, where he also assumed that I was younger. Again, I look young. But despite that aspect, it's just the fact that like he did it. And what did I do? Like, you want to find out what I did, right? I sat down genuinely and I told him, brother, I get you. I understand your dilemma. I understand your current situation. I'm actually proud of you that you got to the point where you could tell me. But I'm like, I don't like you that way. And I hope you dig. Like, you have no offense. Because again, when you say no offense, you're definitely going to offend someone. But I was like, my intention is not to offend my intention is not to offend you, but I have to tell you that I do see and I have understood what you wanted to tell me, but at the same time, I think you're telling it to the wrong person, because I am not that person for you, because I'm not attracted to you, not because you're not handsome or you're not cute and you don't have all the things that a woman would want from a husband. Dude, if all I wanted in life was a husband, I'd be married by now, right? But I'm not in that place where I want to be in a relationship or anything. And I told him that the first time, and I remember him saying, oh, no, don't tell me now, don't give me an answer now, I need you to think about it, I'm gonna give you time, think about it, then tell me later. And I was like, I mean, cool, fine, I'm gonna give you that grace. I'm gonna give you that grace to have that time so that you can swallow, because even if you come down 2 weeks tomorrow, 10 years from now, it's pretty much gonna be the same answer for me. But sure, I'll give you the grace of time and I will let you do your thing. He tried the whole WhatsApping me and texting me, but like before, I have nothing to tell him or talk about, so I just ignored it, right? So I think that's why I messed up the first time, because I thought I was being polite. Like, if you have nothing good to say nothing, right? So I say nothing when I have nothing to say. Like, I genuinely have nothing to say. Good. or good news for you. So I ignored it, but I used to pick up his calls because he was insistent with the calls, and I hate calls. But he was calling me because he knew I wasn't going to answer anything. But I would pick up calls because I felt guilty, and I feel, ashamed of not picking up his calls because I thought we had that discussion. But I think he was also trying to, persuade me as he was giving me time by being constantly in my environment, my proximity. And I do applaud his efforts. He tried. He's trying. He's still trying. And I remember we've had this discussion, I think 4 times now. The 5th one happened yesterday, but that wasn't in face. All this happened face to face, and I hate confrontation, so you can imagine my embarrassment. And I have this thing where I'm in an uncomfortable space or a situation. I really smile and I really laugh, and it's not like the haha hilarious, it's a oh god, I need this conversation to end kind of smile, right? And through all my interactions with him, that's how I've been. So he assumes, because he always asks me what I'm laughing at, and I'm like, I only laugh when I'm nervous, and you make me nervous, so I can't. And it's not nervous in a good way, nervous in like a very annoying, but I can't tell him that, right? Can I can't. So we've had this conversation 4 times, and each time I've told him the same thing. I am not ready to be in a relationship. I don't want to be married. I don't want kids. I don't want to be someone else's responsibility, because I'm more focused on creating my own space. I want to have my own business. I want to have my own house. I want to have my own space. I want that independence that I have been feeling that I'm lacking, but I don't want that independence through someone else. And I've done this, I've told him over and over again, but he always ends up with thoughts. Then he's all like, no, don't answer me now, have time to think. And every time, this is like four times we've had this conversation, and 4 times I've told him the same thing. It's never changed, and I'm not saying it because I'm not paying attention to it. I genuinely have sat down and thought about being married to him, or even kissing him, and it's just not it's not gonna ever happen. Nowadays I don't force myself or settle for less. It's more like, it's never gonna happen, and I wish you could understand that and actually take my word for it. It's not a suggestion, it is what it is. And I think that's the aspect where and I think that's what people read as hard to get, because sometimes there are people who are genuinely playing hard to get. Honestly, there are people who enjoy that game. I don't. And I have told people that I don't. And I'm very direct when I tell you these things. But 4 times it has happened, and 4 times he's barely acknowledged it as a response, but more of a thought. That pissed me off. And I haven't been talking to him or texting him or finding out. I've literally been using my mom's phone to contact him, so he knows that we're not doing like a one-on-one conversation. So yesterday, he happened to call. And I was like, cool, because I don't save. He always calls me with this number that I never saved, but I know it because it's been ringing multiple times. I was genuinely rethinking picking it up, maybe ignoring it, maybe just, let it go to voicemail, and then I'm gonna pretend I was sleeping or something. But I knew he would be insistent, and he will call me all night, because it is a fucking holiday, and people assume that, holidays suck for single people. You need to check up on them. I mean, there are some people who get fucking sucky when it comes to holidays. I am happy to be left all by myself. So when I got the call, I picked it up, and I knew where this was going, but I was just like, I think it's almost the end of year. I need to have this conversation with him. If we have to do it through the phone, I will do it through the phone. If I have to record it, so every time he has asked me questions, I can just send him voice notes of that. But I couldn't do that because he was just checking up on me, but he was kind of angry because I've never called him since. And I was like, yeah, bruh, I have nothing to tell you. And I genuinely said, sina kitu ya kuambia, so nikupigie simu ya nini. I mean, kind of sounds rude, but I was being honest. He took it to heart, but he was more like, because he knows that's how I speak. He was all like, no, it's okay. You don't need to call me. I just wanted to check in on you. Wish you a Merry Christmas, blah, blah, blah. I was like, awesome. Then I told him I had a job. He remembers that when we were having this conversation on day 1, I was more focused on getting a job. So he was so excited to hear me have a job, it was actually pretty exciting to have someone else be excited for the small wins. But again, I knew this is just going to be a problem. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be a problem because he will come back and we're going to have this conversation face to face. And he's still going to think I'm playing hard to get. I don't know. How do I tell this guy that I don't want to be in a relationship with him and he takes it and accepts it as is? I know I can't force him to be friends. I'd rather be friends. I told him and I've been telling him I'd rather be friends, and he thinks our friendship is going to go somewhere, but I doubt it. I don't think I want it to. I don't want it. I don't want him. He's not my guy. He's not my type of guy. And I think having that knowledge that you know who your type is and everyone assumes they are your type, letting them know that you're not into them in that way is kind of, you have to be direct, right? And I do want to be direct. I do try to be direct, but apparently it's not working. Yeah, I want to be direct, but I'm genuinely asking you as guys, like you're guys, you know this. Like, I need your help. I have been telling him no. I just want to have a way to tell him so that he can understand it's a no. It's not like a no maybe, or, it's a no. It's an absolute never gonna happen. And it's not because of him. It's just, I'm not into him. I'm not into that type of person. He's not my type. Basic. He's not my type. I will never be sexually attracted to him. Ever. Not ever in my life. I'm hoping to say it as nicely as I can, but I can be as blunt. So if you can help me out with this, please reach out. This is a serious situation because it's really annoying. It's very uncomfortable. I hate being uncomfortable. I hate confrontation, and I hate being the guy who busts your bubble. But I think my busting bubble skills are not working, because as blunt and as open and as rude as I can be, it's like it's not going in. Or he just doesn't want to understand that I don't like him. So I need you guys to help me. If you're listening to this and you know how to let someone off easy, please reach out. Please let me know. I need to do this by next year. I don't want this problem to be following me to my next year, because according to my predictions, my astrology horoscope shit, I'm supposed to be married next year. So I don't want people cock blocking my future husband. So help, please, anyone. Either way, I hope you guys are having an amazing Christmas day. I am going to try to have a good day. I'm all alone, so my day is just superb. I love the fact that I'm spending another Christmas by myself with my cat, doing whatever I want. Mostly I'm just going to end up recording like the whole day, but I am genuinely happy this is Christmas this year. And I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas. From mine to yours, a merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy new year. And please don't forget to be perfectly imperfect. See you guys next time. Sayonara.